But one thing we didn't go into a whole lot of detail in the project was what your dad and mom did is they really not left the company, but kind of left full time in the early 90s. And that was the mission and their passion. So talk a little bit about the nonprofit Gifts of Love that stemmed from this.
Yeah, so the way they got to that was my dad, like you said, was a barber, wanted to go into the mission field, bought a company that he thought was going to supply all those resources. And 2 weeks after he bought it, it's going down instead of going up. And that created him and my mom from praying every day, deep prayers at 3 o'clock in the morning of God sustain us, God get us through. And I think it was that time in the 80s, literally from 1980 to 1992, that developed their faith in God. And then in 1992, Hurricane Andrew hit in Miami, Florida, and they headed off to Miami, Florida, and met a group from Guatemala and just knew that God had called them into Central America. The way they knew that was they just fell in love with these people, and they thought, let's go down and see what God is going to do for us in Guatemala or do in Guatemala, and started driving to Mexico, driving to Guatemala through Mexico.
And you were there?
I went in 88 the first time. Yeah. And it was crazy. We went in 88 the first time. Then in 1992, they came back. They bought an old 79 Ford Scout, put big tires on it, bucket seats that they got in a junkyard that were really comfortable, and built this 4-wheel drive vehicle to go up in the mountains of Guatemala and serve the people. They took aid there over the years with Chiquita bananas, empty containers, and stuff like that. But today, it's thriving. We feed over 800 different kids in Guatemala every day, or in Haiti every day. We have a medical clinic in Haiti. In Guatemala, we have a children's home, and we're working with the government to help them. How do you actually rule righteously? We put programs together for that, and we help churches. There's about 65 churches that we help give guidance to. So it all started with, I wonder if I could have a business that could support me to go into ministry. Yeah. And then 40 years later, you got this.
Right, yeah. So Gifts of Love International is the name of the nonprofit. So you have the ministries in Haiti and Guatemala, orphanages, feeding kids, and what you talked about is building leaders within that community. And I love that aspect. Yeah. It's not just let's, provide care and love. That's a big part of it. But now it's also building up leaders within their communities so that they can thrive and flourish.
Right. And I know you build legacy videos, okay? But this is building legacy. Right. Because it's not just ours, but it's other families' legacies. You don't realize that as you're doing these things, you're actually building other families' legacies. And you guys have both said you were touched by our project. So it's touching your legacies too into the future, whatever means that is. So I just thought of that. It's just a ripple effect.
Yeah.